Good day and welcome back to another DBZ Dokkan battle video. In this video we are going to take a look at how the astounding fusion technique Yamhan performs in the Fusion Extreme Super Battle Road stage. So Yamhan is a pretty good unit. He's a pretty good free-to-play unit. Obviously there's some limitations to him, things like his defense and that, but overall he's a pretty good unit. I would suggest floating him more than making him a main unit, but we are going to be utilizing him alongside Pandel, and we're going to see how the two of them combine together. Yamhan is a free-to-play unit that you can earn from the Dragon Ball Fusions, the Fused World event, and he's a pretty good unit. The big thing about him is that he has attack and defense of 180%, and he also has an additional attack of 80% and launches an additional attack which has a medium chance of becoming a super attack when health is 80% or less. When you reach that threshold for the first time, you will also gain an additional 80% health, and you will have a high chance, which is a 50% chance, of performing a critical hit, and you will have Ki +3. I myself recommend building him fully into crit just to take advantage of those spikes in his attacking power. Plus he already has a medium chance of an additional, and he only greatly raises his attack, so rather having him fire off those crits constantly will be something that's a bit more useful. Obviously there is quite a cap on his defense, and as you can see there, he took 45k on those attacks, which isn't so bad. It's really not that bad at all. He also lowers enemy attack with his super attack, so it is something really helpful to utilize. It is something that is pretty good overall, so you can also utilize that as well. Obviously the big thing about Yamhan is that he's only really on the Fusion, Earthlings, Crossover, Time Limit and Fused Fighters categories. So he's not really, a unit that you can utilize on many categories. I do think Fusion is by far and away his best category to be on. I think it's where you see the most utilization out of him, you're going to see the most use out of him, you're going to see him get through the most content. I think he's helpful to fill out, especially since Fusion kind of struggles for roster units. He's a nice little addition to have to the Fusion team, and his passive doesn't really limit him to any team in particular, so you can kind of run him as you wish. So yeah, we'll see him on the next rotation. The one thing I don't really like about him is his link set. He does have Fused Fighter, which helps, and he does have Shattering the Limit, and Infight is an okay link on the Fusion team from time to time. Kamehameha is also not bad, but Z Fighters and the Don Ray links are just never going to be utilized. They're very good links, but they're just never going to be utilized, at least on a Fusion team. They could be utilized on an Earthlings team, but definitely will not be utilized on a Fusions team. But yeah, overall, I do quite like Yamhan. I think he did quite well. Is he a unit you should invest your orbs into? It's going to depend on your Fusion roster and how desperately you want to finish the Fusion Super Battle Road stages and ESBR stages. You can also use him for the Earthling challenges for certain events like Infinite Dragon Ball History, or you can use him for, actually that's really about it. I guess maybe time limit challenges, but he's not really the best in long form events. So here we go, we've got him linked up with Pandel. This is going to be his best situation. He's getting the buff from Pandel. He is also functioning entirely on his own merit. He's working very good. We don't have any items active here, so we're going to see just how well he can do, how well he can tank these super attacks. Obviously we are lowering the strength unit's attack. We can see he hits 1.8 million, which isn't that much. Gets a crit, which is great, and does lower the attack. And you can see that he took 33k. This is without an item. So that's the power of lowering attack. It's a very useful mechanism, but that's not too bad. Obviously we did lower their attack twice, so it's quite a big deficit, but for him to only take 33k is pretty decent. He does obviously sit quite nicely with Pandel. Like I said, they share 3 links. He does get the buff from her, and so she's a good foil unit to run with him if you want to run them as main units. I still don't really see him as a main unit. I don't see him as a main rotation unit. I don't think it's the best call for him. But if you really want to run him that way, I guess you can. It's going to be entirely up to you. But for me, I definitely just don't see him as a main rotation unit. I see him more as a floating foil, a unit that's going to be pretty good as a foil unit, as a unit that you can utilize to kind of, max out certain like initiate his damage and then utilize it once. So we're going to activate an Icarus here. We are below the 80% health threshold, so we're going to have the full active of his ability. And then we're going to just see how much damage he can do here. He should get his full passive, so he should be able to do a big load of damage, and we're going to see how he can do in terms of eliminating enemy. We should see a big spike in his overall attack power. We're looking at around 3 million or so, and hopefully he can get the double suit. 4.1 million actually, very good. Gets the crit, awesome. Gets an additional attack, fantastic. Gets another attack, 4.4 million. And if he crits this, he will have finished off the Bura. So that's the power of Yamhan as a unit. That single turn where he hits all the right notes, where you have the support from Pandel, you have an item active, he's below the 80% health threshold, and all of a sudden you are able to just decimate whoever's in your way. You are able to absolutely, he destroyed the Bura in a single turn. It's very impressive. So for me, I think overall he's really good. I think he's definitely a viable option in Fusion ESBR. As you can see, we are getting the work done. You either need to cater to him, and I like to prefer using him as a as a spike weapon. I like to use him as when you're below the 80% health threshold, you can get that damage from him as a floater, and he'll lower their attack, and he'll possibly do big damage like that, killing a unit, getting rid of a Deborah, and then that's it. And then you're good, and then you can continue, and you can move on, and you're fine. You're happy to proceed, and you don't have you've eliminated an enemy, and then he comes back in a couple turns. I don't think his sustained damage is good enough. It isn't bad while he's below the 80% health threshold. It's in the high 2 millions, lower 3 millions. So it's not like it's bad. It's not like he doesn't do damage, but he loses that high chance to crit, which means you're relying entirely on his hidden potential system, and he doesn't do huge damage. His attack lowering is still very nice, and I think we've seen him perform really well as a main unit. So it's not that he can't be utilized that way. I just think his best position is coming in every once in a while, blowing up a unit, lowering someone's attack, and then stepping out. I think that's really where he shines. I think that's really awesome of him. I don't really think we need to see anything more. We don't need to continue in the stage, so we're just going to kind of leave the stage here. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Let me know your thoughts and opinions. Do you think Yamhan's good? Have you used him? Do you plan on using him? Are you struggling with the Fusion ESBR? And what other content have you tried to utilize him in? And leave a like if you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one. So until then, take care, stay safe, and as always, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.